Again, are we ready for team meeting? All right, so let's start out with energy. Stand up, say hi to two people that you don't know, and if you're online, message to people chat.
I think now, I used to say 20, but now it's probably 40. You go by yourself.
You might be on some.
36 is the goal, I think.
Well, at this rate.
Having some technical difficulties. So my name is Jason Maxgill, and I get the honor of leading two meetings today. So Mike's out and Rachel's out, so you get me today. All right. So we're got a full agenda we're going to get through, and then I've got a couple of exciting things towards the middle. Who could share with me real quick? What's this?
Beliefs.
Louder. What's this?
YRCQT.
Okay, what's that mean? Yeah, these are our beliefs. So this is one of my favorite things about Keller Williams is this is what we believe in. It's the win-win or no deal. The integrity, customers always come first. The commitment, all things, the communication, creativity, teamwork, trust, equity, and success. I love this right here. I didn't want to skip over this because I can tell you how many times I've ran into a situation over the years, and these things right here stand out with our agents above all. So really appreciate that. Let's start off. So the Steffes Award. So Mr. Boland, can I pick on you for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah, what is the Steffes Award?
Ron Steffes was one of the founders and lived a great life. He did. He was a Vietnam veteran and unfortunately left us too soon, but he walked into the building, he always stopped and talked to you no matter what, and it was always positive. There was nothing like, I've got the weight of the world, I can't really talk to you about this. It was, you never knew anything was going on except smiles, and, he was always asking you, not telling you what he was doing in his life. He was a good guy.
He was a good guy, and he loved KW.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, loved KW. I mean, every time I would see him, he'd be like, hey, how's your business, man? How's everything going? Can I do anything for you? Like, he was the epitome of KW culture. So therefore, we named the Culture Award after him every week. So last week's winner was Justin. Wants to do is Justin in the room.
Yeah. Hiding.
Come here, Justin. Come here.
I can't just stand up. I'm already like, stick out like a sore thumb.
All right, Justin. So share with me, what's the reason why you chose the winner for this week?
Well, because of her kind spirit and, she's always very nice. It's Bethany McCraw.
Thank you. I don't like that. She's so nice.
So if you're online, help me out. Let's text her. Let's tell her how much we appreciate her. Let's blow her phone up all day long. When she gets back, she gets to see it. So, all right, broker moment. Mr. Boland.
Yeah, I do have something. Buyer's agency, we encourage all of our agents to consult with their buyers and then sign an employment agreement, right? Correctly. And you're doing that because you can't truly represent them unless you have a signed contract. Who do you represent according to the MREC if you don't have a signed employment agreement?
The seller. Them, not them. No one.
The MREC says first, you're an assumed transaction broker. That's bad, right? Because you have no financial or no fiduciary responsibility to either party as a transaction broker. That came about because people were trying to avoid liability, which is ridiculous. You know, we represent clients. And then second, if you still don't sign one and you write a contract, who do you think you represent? Well, you guys need to go back to
Nobody?
class. Basically a sub-agent to the seller. Did you know that? If you don't have a signed agency agreement, you're a sub-agent to the seller, you know, and you got to think about that. You know, I'm representing the seller in this transaction, so I really can't advise them on price, terms, conditions, closing dates, you know. Here, let me talk to the seller first before you sign this and see what he wants you to offer. So, you know, it's not a good idea. But the third thing on this is on a buyer's agency contract, does that mean you're going to get paid if that buyer buys a house?
No.
Wes Litton says no. Mark says no. You know, it's true. What it says is I've got an agency agreement and it says that you should get paid no matter what if they buy a property. And it gives an options, you know, properties that are listed in the MLS, unlisted properties, you know, maybe that you find them and you write a contract under an agency agreement. But there are times that sometimes buyers have an agency agreement with you and they go out and buy something else with somebody else. What? So you should get paid, correct?
Should.
Where would you get your money? From the buyer. Good luck on that. You know, Keller Williams and the company I was at previously, we've never sued a buyer for commission, and we won't. Now, if you want to do it individually, we had one agent do it. It was a $21,000 commission. It cost them $18,000 to sue them. And they got $13,000 in the end. So, you know, worked out pretty well for them. You know, so here's the deal. Occasionally, you're going to show somebody a property, correct? And then they're going to go off the rails and maybe contact another agent, whether it's with our company or with another company. If they buy a property that you've shown, then you are called what? What are you called according to the MREC? You are the, starts with a P.
Procuring cost.
Procuring cause. And so then my suggestion is this, you take the simple steps. You call the other agent if you find out that they bought a house that you showed. And you say, you know, unfortunately, I've been working for this person for a while. I've got an agency agreement with them. You know, I know that's not necessarily an issue, but I showed them that house. I have proof, electronic proof that I showed them on this day. And now I see that you've written a contract with them. You know, really, I think what's fair is a 25% referral. And their answer should be,
I'll be happy to.
I'll be happy to. You know, I understand perfectly. It's happened to me before. Now, when it's within our company, there shouldn't be any hesitation, right? Because we just saw that thing about the win-win and treat people good and all that stuff. With other companies, sometimes you call the agent, they disagree, you contact me, I contact the broker, and if the broker's got any brains at all, and if he's been in the business for a while, he, she will say, yeah, I agree, let me talk to the agent. Yes, ma'am.
I actually had that happen recently, and I didn't show them that particular property, but I showed them other properties in that same city that same day. And then they just went with somebody else and they went under contract there. And that agent had no idea. We apparently both had agency, but I'd had agency longer. And he gave me 33%.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, you don't.
People are pretty kind about it.
He didn't really have to, or she didn't have to at all. They don't have to give you anything. You can show them 50 properties. And I know some of us, if you've been in it long enough, you've shown a lot of properties over time, and then all of a sudden they call you and go, hey, we bought a house. And you're like, wait a minute. But there's nothing you can do about that. But whoever that agent is, you ought to send them a thank you note, flowers and everything else, because they didn't have to do anything. You know, it's just.
Keller Williams too.
Yeah. But I want you to remember that, because agency doesn't mean that. Now, how do you avoid that? Obviously, it's through consultation, constant communication. You don't let them go off the rails if you can help them. Don't let them drift somewhere. Okay? Yeah, they're doing like, yeah, I don't know.
About, thank you, Jim. Things that I really love what Jim just pointed out is the communication and the relationship matters, right?
Yep.
It's amazing when we're creating a relationship to get the appointment, it matters. When we actually get the agreement to work with them, it still matters. And if you have a strong enough relationship with them, they don't go anywhere else, right? So I think that my favorite part is relationships matter. So, yeah, thanks. And also I'll say, we really are privileged to have Jim. I don't know if you guys realize, and I mean, just anytime you need anything, he's so knowledgeable. And I'm just really grateful for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jim.
If you're right, I'll defend you to the end of time. If you're wrong, you can expect me to tell you that you're probably doing the wrong thing and, you know, we should just move on and take care of it. I mean, that's the way it should be. Because you're gonna make errors in your life, and if you do, then don't expect me to, I'm not your mama, so I'm not gonna stand up there and go, you're a good boy.
So if you're right, call him. If you're wrong,
Wrong, call Don.
All right. So do we have any vendors in the room? You stand up. We'll share who you are, what company you're with. Let's go quickly.
Jonathan Roundhouse, 417 Reiki. We have super access, so you don't even have to leave your office, and we work realtor hours.
Stacy Strong, legal land title. We're just right across the parking lot. If you need anything on title commitments or anything like that, let us know.
Thank you, Stacy.
Keith Cooper with USA Mortgage. Nothing big going on in the mortgage world right now. I'm just waiting for those rates to come down. I want to give props to Nicole on your Facebook post the other day about knowing just enough to say, this isn't right. I don't know if you guys saw the post, but she felt something fishy from a pre-qualification letter you got. Is that right? And she just knew enough about that loan program to know it wasn't right and to ask the right question. So props.
Nathan Skinner, Garrison Roofing. I look at roofs, that's what I do. And if you have something simple and you just have a simple question, like Maria had one earlier, hey, what does this mean on an inspection notice? You can always text me. I don't have to go out to every house. You just have a simple question. Super easy that way, and I'm always available.
Tyler Williams, we move. We do moving and junk removal. Junk removal anywhere from single item pickup all the way up to full-blown property cleanup. So if you got any investors or people that are doing rentals, we'll clean them out. Tyler with We Move.
He's second best.
How far do you go?
Everywhere. I've been clear to St. Louis. I've been clear to Overland Park, Kansas.
If you'll go there, he'll go there, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, I just always out of respect for my employees, ask them before we travel. So if you call me about a long distance deal, I'll just be like, hey, I'm gonna talk to my guys. I'll get back with you. And then I usually get back with you within a day.
Okay.
Amy Hunsaker Williams, the Collective Home Staging. Obviously, homes are sitting a little longer. Maybe they need a little bit of TLC. Could be vacant staging. Could just be that you have a listing coming up that has way too much stuff in it. Maybe it's not showing the home in its best light and you don't want to be the bad guy. You can call me in for a very small fee.
Jessica Bowman Insurance Group. She texted me this morning and said that she couldn't be here and asked if I would mention her name. And, so I told her I would, and you know, it's go big or go home, Bowman Insurance Group. That's what you should do. She's got 3 of my properties and several of my clients' properties, and just does a good job. I mean, the thing is, what you want is somebody that'll go out and give you an honest quote, and you know 12 months later it's not going to go, because we've had that happen with insurance people before, and that's a death knell for me. Jessica, what else?
Awesome. You know, one of my favorite things about the vendors and the vendor program we have here at KW is they're invested in your career. Like they're constantly investing their time, their money into helping all of our agents. I know we put on an event in Nixa and a couple of our vendors just stepped right up and said, hey, what can we do to help? What can we do to help support this with their time, with their money? It's awesome. So thank you guys for everything you guys do for us. All right, our training calendar. Who in here has been to Ignite? How amazing is the new Ignite, by the way? That amazing, huh? Wow. Who could share one good thing that's come out of this new Ignite they've been going through?
My wife watches online and leaves me alone.
Okay, there's that.
I thought you were usually bothering her.
Usually.
Who else? Who has a story from Ignite? Something that they've learned from one of the instructors, from the new material? Who's just got something they could share? Anybody?
I guess I would say I went to Paulina's open house class, and she did mention that she puts a little table just as soon as the client opens the door or anybody who's gonna go see the open house. As soon as they open the house, they see that little table where they have to sign in, and she tells them like, hi, this is Paulina, go ahead and sign in, and then get the information sheet. So that makes them psychologically, they will have to sign in, then they can grab the information sheet. So that's how she gets a lot of people to sign in, like rather than just them go and sign in a sheet of paper.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that. So the new Ignite material, by the way, completely different than it has been before. So a lot of it's around your database. And I know we've had some amazing instructors so far. So here's the training calendar. Just make sure you see the highlights. So we've got Ignite today. And I believe seller contracts with Don Klepper, and new agent orientation at the end of the week. Don't forget your board renewals by the end of January, so you don't want to get your late fees. Here are market numbers. Here's something interesting by looking at the numbers. If you look at just the GSBOR numbers for new listings, they're pretty close to the same. You look at SOMO, new listings are down, contracts are down a little bit, but looking at new contracts for GSBOR, they're down quite a bit. Now that's just for the week. So obviously, we're going to talk a little bit more about market. We did just come from Shift. Who went to Shift Lab this week? Awesome. Does anyone have any takeaways from Shift?
So many.
Just one. Les, do you have anything from Shift?
I do. You ready for it?
Yeah, please.
If you lead generate, you'll get clients. As stupid as it was, like our table was like, oh man, and they like the guys were sitting with kept leaning over like, what are you guys doing to get clients? I'm like, calling people. You know, you got that, and then the second one was his definition of luxury. Like you want to be a luxury agent. It was you're gonna have to help me a little bit because I'm missing, I think, one piece of it, but it was convenient, easy, and more beautiful. And I love that concept of like, how do you cultivate experiences in your processes or in your communication with clients that make things easier, more convenient on the client, and then also at the same time, potentially more beautiful if you want to be a luxury agent, or if you're working with investors, more streamlined or more profitable.
Yeah. Good on. Yeah.
I think the overarching theme of both days was the fundamentals, just getting back to basics, because I think that the last 2 years have been such wildfire that none of us were focused as much on the fundamentals as we should be. And then I also just loved that Jason held up that big binder and showed us the education that's coming on command.
I know, right? And the mortgage hacks.
The mortgage hacks.
How amazing was that?
Awesome.
I love James Shaw started out the day. And James said,
You're so funny.
I know, right? He's an amazing speaker. And he started out the day and said, hey, you know what? The market is shifting and less homes will be sold than last year. And none of that matters to the individual agent. That has zero impact on how many houses you will sell. The only thing that impacts how many houses you will sell be your activities that you choose to do. And I loved, he just started the day that way. I also loved, he said, never service business before you find it, which actually comes from the book Shift. So never service business before you find it. I was like, that's brilliant and easy and simple. So, and the biggest takeaways, I think, were simple. So any other one last takeaways from Shift class? No?
Can you explain never service business before you have it? Can you explain that
Yeah.
for us separate?
If you have business right now, and you need to go show houses, make sure you don't skip your lead generation to find future business or you won't have future business. Wes?
That also reminds me of in Shift, work from written agreements.
Louder?
Work from written agreements, right? Another one in Shift, like we tend to show the properties before we actually secure the client. Or investors, or they'll run you around town without, oh, we don't sign exclusives. Well, probably shouldn't work with you.
It's good support for Jim Bolin for his talk earlier. I like the follow up. Awesome. Thank you guys. Obviously, do not call, don't, make sure you're using the do not call list. It is serious, you can get fined. Who in here was in business 2019? You know what's amazing? Thank you. What's amazing, looking at 2019 numbers, did any of you think that the market was bad or shifting or down? No, and looking at 2019, our numbers, you know, we didn't think that's what it was bad then, and we're getting back to more of a normal market. So that was my takeaway with looking at the slides. You don't want to forget the vision breakfast. So Mike, Rachel, the leadership's got some amazing things they're gonna be bringing to you. So don't want to miss that. It's February 7th. Make sure you got it on your calendar. Make sure you're checking your email weekly for the Realtor email. Award nominations. So make sure you fill out nominate a broker of the year, rookie of the year, affiliate of the year, especially awards. They're due by January 31st. And Flex or MLS actually has a fundamentals class. If you guys, any new agents or agents that just want a refresher course, this is just basically how the MLS works. So I think this is kind of cool. Our GSBOR is putting forth those fines, those pesky fines that we've been paying in. They're going to put some grants out there for educating the public on basically why they should buy a house and why they should use a realtor. So go to support@gspor.com for questions, or you go on their website and you can get the applications. They also, GSBOR has a chat button now if you want to chat directly with them. It's kind of cool. And so to report, so today we've got a panel for family reunion. We're going to go over some awards at the end. And who in here is going to family reunion? Awesome, me too. I can't wait. So it's in Anaheim, February 18th to 21st. It is in person only this year. And we have a panel today that's going to talk to us. So Wes, Rob, Elise, and Shanna, come on up. I'm gonna grab that.
Nice.
Sometimes we get shout outs. Oh, okay.
I don't want to sit next to you.
Where's Rob?
Is Rob virtual? Rob's here in spirit. Obviously.
I'm not sure. So we'll move forward. Problems? Shocking. Shocking.
I remember last time we did team meeting together?
Okay.
Stood on a ladder for an hour.
Sure did. I was dedicated.
All right, not sure the story behind that one. All right, so how about we start down here? Shanna.
Yes.
So Shanna, our PC coach, amazing. Have you been to family reunion before?
I have. I've been three times, 2 or 3 times.
Okay, 3 times. Wes, have you been?
Have.
How many times?
Yeah,
4? Okay.
something like that. I don't remember.
We've been.
I had 2 kids, one February, one May. And so I don't remember. I know the February kid, I didn't go. So I think 4 years.
All right, several times. We'll get.
Yeah.
Elise?
I think this is my second.
Okay, awesome. So go back to Shannon. So what would you say what's the most impactful thing you've ever pulled out of going to family reunion?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. So it is, in the best way I can say, overwhelming. Like, I'm way whelmed because I'm not overwhelmed, but I'm way whelmed. Just being around such talent and such captivating speakers and hearing things that maybe I've never heard before. It's hard to just hone in on one thing. And then just the networking that happens, after the breakouts and the people you get to meet. And it's really cool. It's like a Beatles concert with Gary on stage. He like jumps around.
He even plays music sometimes.
He's awesome. It's like, wow, fangirl for a minute, but it's more than any kind of training we've ever been to. It changes the way you think of things and the way you truly understand how big KW really is.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back to you on that one. So I'm gonna skip you and I'll come back.
I was ready for that one too.
So I know I prepped you for
That
it.
was the one question you did prep me on, yeah.
And to be fair, he goes, I got this. So
We'll see.
do you remember the first time you went?
Mhm.
So share with me, like, what led you to going the first time?
Everybody that
you know, like I study the top down a lot. I know where people are at on the top down. And I figured out that the people at the very top of the top down, every single year they were going to these type of events. They were sending their team to these events. And so I'm like, well, if I'm gonna get to that part of the top down, it sounds like I kind of need to go do that. And I remember, because I've been to conventions before for my previous career, but nothing like this. This is such a production that, and there's so much thought and effort that goes into this from this huge international company that I met people from Belize, I met people from Italy that, I mean, were fantastic, and everybody really does have that culture in mind. So I remember when I went there, I knew that I did the right thing, and it's not too expensive in my opinion because of the value that it brought to my business. So.
Was it hard to make that decision the first time?
You know, kind of, but it was only hard because I'd had kids, you know, and I'd never been away from my kids. That was really the only thing that was standing in my way, but also like I want to have a better life for my kids and I want to provide them with whatever I can do to provide them with a great life. And even my wife was like, I think you need to go to this. She encouraged me because she, you know, I talked to her about it and how I was like, I want to get to that part of the top down one day. And she was like, well, it sounds like you need coaching and you need to go. And number one, get coaching. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you remember like your experience there that first time? Like, was it awesome? Like you're there, you're listening to Gary, you're in a room with 15, 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, what was that like to you?
It was the coolest experience I've ever been to. And I've met some of my favorite like concert artists. Like I've been backstage and I've been like, this is awesome. And then I go and I met my coach in person. I met people that I was like, I've seen you in the videos on stage, you know, and like it really put this clarity into focus for me that these are people, like this company is handing you the secrets of their business, you know, and nothing is kept, it's not a secret. It's just they're literally handing you the path of success, and it's up to us to implement those things. And I just remember coming home and my wife thinking, was it nice to get, you know, all the sleep in the world since you didn't have these babies? And I was like, that's not what happened. But I was also like, yes, it was. Yes, it was very nice. And I had a very nice hotel room and I was like, sorry, I'm living in luxury right now. But I mean, it was incredible. It was extremely overwhelming at first. And then I got laser focused in and went to breakouts and met and gave away as many business cards as possible and just had a blast. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you. All right, Wes, you gotta follow that.
I know that was really good. I was over here like front row church. Amen.
Yeah.
I do. Very vividly, yeah.
What led to you going that first time?
So I was in the ATL position actually for my first experience, and this is wild. Mr. Kevin Kolstad was at Southwest Missouri Real Estate at the time, and he was one of my early recruits. He had come to Bold on Travis Lathrop's original recruit, and he kind of fell. He was at my Bold table, fell out, and then I got him to come to Family Reunion with us. And I didn't know Kevin very well at the time, but Kevin tells the story like he didn't have enough money to buy like food at the time. So like he was the classic like sell a house, then pay off his credit card bill, and then have nothing, and then need to sell the next house, you know? And he was like, there's no way I can make it. And so I was like, well, the office will, you know, pay your trip. You should come out. And I actually wasn't going to go to that trip. I was just going to send him to Travis. And Kevin's response was, well, I'll only go if you'll go. And holy crap, like the value that first time was nuts. I mean, like I'll never forget it. But so going with Kevin was wild because Kevin's a few years younger than me and about, you know, 20 years wilder than me. And so that was a whirlwind. Doug Lutz got involved a few nights. But it was one of those moments where like your eyes kind of open a little bit more. So like real estate was always an opportunity to make good money, right? And then Family Reunion opens your eyes to, oh, I can actually build a business, you know, and then you start getting equipped along the way. So that was the first time that switch ever hit for me. And I wouldn't have even gone if it wasn't for recruiting old Kevin. So.
Wow. Do you remember same questions for Lisa, do you remember what it was like when you first got there and you were in this room with 20,000 people?
22,000.
22, okay.
It was the most intimidating thing ever. Cause like, so it's called family reunion, right? So it's all like, oh, we're family, but you're like, I know no one here. Like, so you're sitting with the office and you're like kind of friends with them, kind of not, you know, you're like we're pals. We see each other all the time, but I don't know you personally. And I'm in the sea of 20,000 people. And like, as soon as that conference starts, it's just a value fire hose. So I remember sitting there being uncomfortable, like, what are they gonna make us do? Like, you know, like kind of like church camp, like, this is really uncomfortable. We're gonna like sing songs. And then just right out of the gate, it starts with main stage Gary, and he starts going through economics, and it was insane. I mean, I go back to my notes still from that first family reunion and flip through them, because that would have been, I think that would have been 2016, right in there. No, 17. And so I'll still go back to those notes and look through them, because that's the market we're in right now. I think it's a pretty similar market. So I'll go back through those notes, and it's the same thing. It's like, you know, contacts, you know, the circles you run in are important, you know, like just the basics of real estate. Man, yeah, the nerves were there. I won't deny that. But then as soon as you got into the actual content, I was on cloud nine. It was everything I wanted, you know.
I couldn't write fast enough.
Mhm.
Like my notes are terrible and poor Bethany is trying to decipher what I'm bringing home. And I'm like, I don't know what I wrote, but it was gold.
It was
So we had
good.
to figure that out.
She would email me.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a lot, you have it handy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good.
So what's one thing, this is open to anyone who wants to answer this. What's one thing that you've implemented in your business from family reunion over the years that's made an impact on your business?
15th of the month protocol. I heard that in
Mhm.
2015 when I went, and I'd never heard anything like that before. And I was like, Dan, this is the answer to all the things. And he's like, you're good. It's fine. I got all the answers. We're good. No, but it was like, that just made so much sense. You can't wait till the end of the month to figure out, to make up the time, right? Who's gotten there you're down to the last 5 days of the month and you're like, oops, I didn't notice. And it just hyper focused me that for the first half of the month, you really got to know what you're doing, know your numbers, know your activities, and nail it. And then you've got to have something there to say, okay, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Now here's where second gear kicks in or whatever. I don't drive them anymore, so I don't know. But, and then that way the rest of the month is solid. Was it the manual thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good. Great analogy.
Second year, super fast.
Wes, what do you think your business would be like today if you had never gone to family reunion?
Oh, I mean, I would have never started a team. I was like solopreneur, like I'll do it all myself. I don't need help, you know, nothing. And a lot of the reasoning behind that was like, well, because I could sell a house and I get the whole check, you know, it's like, so I'll just sell as many as I can and I'll get as many whole checks as I possibly can. And it wasn't until, it was actually Ben Kinney, back when he was still blessed by Gary, took off he wore a Columbia like zip up over a black t-shirt, and the zip up went all the way up to his neck. So he looked like a turtle the whole time on stage. He took it off and then came around. There's a whole panel up there. He came around front and sat down on the edge of the stage, and Gary and him just went back and forth. And the rest of the panel, like us, just kind of sat there awkwardly. And Gary was grilling Ben on why is it so important to build a business. And Ben was going through legacy. He was going through how he was actually able to increase profitability, changing people's lives, how it connected to his own personal life's mission. And like, it was the first time that I saw real estate through not how can I get wealthy, but how can I grow people's wealth along with my own? Like, how can I build an environment so big that other people can exist and thrive inside them? It was the first time that I was like, that's even possible. Like, what the heck? You know, my uncle owned a Coldwell Banker. He was like the principal broker, the largest agent in Southern Oregon, like 17 years. He was #1 agent, and never once did he have a team more than him and 2 assistants. You know, and so it was just not something that I had ever like considered in real estate until Ben Kinney took that weird sweater vest off and came on down, and it was mind blowing for me.
So you said if you never would have went to family reunion, you wouldn't have started a team. How would that have impacted your life?
Oh, geez. I mean, I think the team's changed almost everything, like in terms of financially to, I mean, even like the camaraderie and friendships to, other opportunities, you know.
It forces you to think bigger too,
Yeah,
because it's not all about you.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of money we've given, so what's actually kind of cool, everyone in here can do this, by the way, Community Foundation of the Ozarks, you can start your own personal foundation. Right, and then you designate where the funds go to. And so Community Foundation of the Ozark is a fiduciary and they actually invest money for you. So like you give them money, they invest it, and then they'll do distributions as you want. So we like give to our own foundation, then it gives to KW Cares. Right, so and then a couple other smaller charities, but you know, it's kind of a neat idea that like now I can earn money, I can give there, they will invest it and multiply it, and then the distributions will get distributed to those other, you know, companies, but the sum that I've given stays invested. So that can continue to grow over the years, right? So like, there's things that are happening in my life that there's no possible way, like the opportunities or, you know, even like having 2 kids, like as silly as that is, you know, I didn't make any, like literally $0 prior to real estate. So I was like in this weird, like, I've got to get a real job. I don't know what to do. I'll try real estate, you know, little did I know it's not a real job. But you know, coming through it all now, it's like, okay, now we have a great house, we have great kids, we have great friendships. Like, not everything's perfect, but things are way, way better than they were 6 years ago, you know. And I have time back. That's the other side.
Yeah.
The team gives you a lot of time back. Not that teams answer everything, because you're taught, like they do not. It is a lot of really hard work and it's not always fun, but you do get quite a bit of time back. So.
And I don't think the point is with this, that you have to build a team. The point is that by making this one decision, it impacted your life in multiple ways throughout the years.
And you got to think about all the people's lives that you guys impact by having a team. So being somebody that came from a team, that's big. Like even with my time under you, like you taught me a lot of things about investment and saving money and wealth that I honestly had not known about. And so being the recipient of those big things that you guys have done, like it's super cool.
All right, so we got 2 last questions. This one's for each one of you, so I'll have to go quickly. What are you the most excited about family reunion this year?
Okay, little self-serving here. I actually get to be on a panel this year. I'm so excited. Yes, super, super excited.
We're also very excited and proud of you. So.
Yeah, no, sweating. I actually have a meeting today to talk about some of the questions that are going to be asked. That way I'm prepared and I don't sound like a idiot up on stage in front of everybody, embarrass you all. But it's about relaunching a program in this market and having success with the people in the productivity program. And so I'm thrilled. So that's what I'm like most excited about this year is I get to be part of the experience instead of just in it. So.
Love it. Well, I mean, it's Anaheim, California. So I'm from Southern California. So I've got all my college buddies meeting up at the Westin. It's going to be a blast. So number 1, location, perfect for this time of year. Number 2 is I love these events because I get to connect with business partners across the United States. So silly as it is, originally it was like 100% about the education. Now it's education and connection. Currently, right now, as it sits, I have $2 million under contract from one referral partner that I met at Mega Camp 2 years ago. Right?
Awesome.
Like, hey, that's awesome. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, I'm buying that guy dinner. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reconnecting with my Rainbow network. That's one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to. We have for Mega Camp, we have Rainbow Camp, and then for Family Reunion, we have Rainbow Reunion, where it's just basically we sit down for reunion, we sit down for a mastermind with all these agents across. We're one of the largest networking groups of Keller Williams. We have.
Hold on, you are the largest referral network
We are the
in
largest.
the world.
I didn't, well, yes, thank you.
This is serious.
I know, you're welcome. But I mean, we track our numbers. We have some really incredible agents. You know, I've met some big thinkers at these networking groups that we meet up. We have a mixer at the end of the day afterwards. Like we talk to each other and we do it with such intention that you can't sit in that room and not get value. It's just insane what I've learned from these people that are across the country, and we refer people to each other. I mean, I've given out tons of referrals, and I go every single time I go straight to the Rainbow Network because the people that I'm referring want someone that's like them. They want to feel comfortable, but there's nothing like the networking and the value that we get. And they have so much intention that they put these people up on this panel that start this conversation, and then we all break out into groups. And it's absolutely mind blowing. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Awesome. One last question, and it's up to you guys, which one of you answers it. Someone sitting in this room, they've never been to family reunion. What do they need to know? What should they be hearing out of this? What should they be hearing out of this?
Are they already going or not going yet?
Just say they've never been.
Oh, gosh. What do they need to know?
Yeah.
Your
Or what
business?
should they be hearing out of this conversation?
Your business will change. You will change by going. It's an experience that you can't replicate on a Zoom. You got to be there and feel it and live it. And if you do go, it's a little overwhelming at first, and that's okay. Just go with it because it's there for a reason.
Yeah, it's the old, your business grows to the extent that you do. Like these events will pull you not just educationally, but relationally, spiritually, in your wealth building journey. I mean, it is an all encompassing training. It's not just real estate training. So if you want your business to grow, these are the environments you have to be in.
I think the way that I would say it is that if you go to family reunion and you go there with intention, you will make more money.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's a no-brainer. You will make more money because of what you get out of the conversations from Gary's talk to breakout panels to the people that you meet. If you're able to go, you will make more of an income for your household, for your family. It's just, to me, like something would have to get absolutely destructively in my way to prevent me from going to the family reunion. It's that much value to me.
Awesome. If someone wants to talk to you outside of this about family reunion, can they?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So family reunion is February 18th to the 21st. And I'm gonna have Mike send this out to everybody. So this is Mike's itinerary, what Mike's doing, and really the leadership team. And so two last things to share with you is one, 2023, the market is just changing. It's different. And you know, we're moving into a skill-based market. And to be honest, not every agent out there has access to the amazing training and perspective that we have here at KW. And so we want to help provide that. So if someone is not with KW and you think that they'd be a good fit, invite them. And what are we going to provide?
Oh, well, we're going to provide a hotel,
Yep.
the tickets, and reimburse up to $650 for airfare when they get back from family reunion. And they can come early for a day at Disney because, you know, Mike's totally going to be there for that.
And if you do bring somebody and stay involved with them, we're going to reimburse you $500 on your agent billing. All right, so we're going to do awards, and I've asked Amy and Shannon to help me with this. We're going to go quickly. So we have some amazing people that have done some amazing things, and I'm actually going to let you read off what the award is, and she's going to read the names.
Love it. Okay, find the best place to stand.
Quickly.
All right, December cappers.
Nathan Blanton, Robert Blitch, Evan Connor, Tim Whitman, Rachel Schuler, Angel Chanel, Mark Stewart, Gabriela Verdugo, and the home team. Christine Cothra, hope I'm saying that
Yes,
right.
you
Dallas
are.
Johnson, Gerald Phillips, Oscar Avila, and Summer Hunter.
May I say real quick, almost all of them are in coaching, just so you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Home Run Club December.
Oh my gosh, am I gonna read all these?
Nope, but just look at these great names.
So my name's on there,
Right?
yay!
One listing taken, one contract written, and one contract closed, home run. All right, each month we recognize listings taken, future business, contracts written, current business, and closed units, closed business, individual, team, or group. These are your groups for December listings taken individual.
Austin Kari, Catherine,
Thanks,
one I'll never be able to say, Jessica Capone, Ashley Jones, Chris Luck. Another name I'll never be able to say, Kate, Michael Eckenroad,
Nova.
Paulina, whose name I also can't say even though I really should be able to. Sheila Johnson, Tammy Cogdill Holt, Home Sweet Sprinkled, and the Nest Group.
All right. Taken, team.
Team Mooneyham team, Red Door Associates and Show Me Missouri Properties.
All right, show me Mo. All right, December listings taken group. Brady, Holt, Litton, Keats, Cronkite, Rich, Sammy, coaching team. Woo! Rachel McDonald and Phil Reed Real Estate. Volume individual, as you can see.
Dusty Capone, Austin Picard, Ashley Jones, Bob Stout, Austin McCandless, Home Sweet Springfield, Robert Blitch, Katie, whose name I can't say, Mindy Whitty, and Amber Ludd.
Awesome.
She'll
awesome.
teach me later how to
I'll
say.
teach her later. I don't want to embarrass her now. December listings volumes team.
Austin Picard, Bob Stout, Home Sweet Springfield, Catherine, name I can't say, Michael Eckerbo, Tammy Codwell Holt.
Vinny!
Knight, Tyler Shields, Ashley Jones, Jessica Capone, and Dana. What's that? Another one I can't say.
All right.
I'm in the wrong
Listing
role.
volume group. Listing volume group. Brady, Holt, Litton.
Cronkite, Richardson, Homegirl, School Reed, Property Gurus, Coaching Team, Tammy Barrett, Z Realty Experts and So Realty. You didn't know that this was just gonna be a show of how fast I could read.
All right, December contracts, written units, individual.
Catherine, Paulina, Dusty, Denise, Angela, Ashley, Austin, Chris, Michael, and Sabrina.
I don't know that way, much better that way. And contracts, written units, team.
Tim, Kasha, Liliana, and Rex.
All right. Contracts, written units, group.
Oh, Brady, Litton, Coaching Team. Woo! Rachel,
I am up here today, guys.
Dulce Hogar, AE Group, Southern Mo Realty, and Tammy Barrett Realty.
All right, contracts, written volume, individual.
First names only, Jeannie, Sabrina, Michael, Denise, Catherine, Austin, Ashley, Paulina, Kelly, Bob, and Dusty.
All right, contracts, written volume, team.
Kim Mooneyham, Alex Moore, Cousin Driscoll, Red Smiley, Liliana Owen, and Real Estate Writers.
All right. Oh, contracts, written volume, group. We gotta get with Mike and shorten this down.
Educators, Realty Group, Cronkite, Coaching Team, woo! Southern Mo Realty, Richardson Real Estate, Rachel McDonald, Dulce Hogar, and Stone Realty Group.
All right, closed units, individual. This is big.
Chris Lock, Denise Knight, woo! Austin Picard, Brian Jackson, Catherine, who I apparently need to meet, Susie Griswold, and Home Sweet Springfield.
And closed units, team.
Kim Mooneyham, Riley Real Estate, Kasha Driscoll at Group, Show Me Mo Properties, and Real Estate Writers.
Closed.
Oh, ready, Coaching Team, Lincoln, oh, look at us above Litton Keats. Rachel McDonald, Cronkite Homes, EA Group,
They
Tammy
laugh, they
Barrett,
know.
Clay and Clay, Dulce Hogar, Stone Realty Group.
All right. Closed volume, individual.
Austin, Jeannie, Chris, Robert, Denise, Michael, Dusty, Home Sweet Springfield, Catherine, Craig, and Brian.
Closed volume, team.
Kim Mooneyham, Riley Real Estate, Austin Moore Group, oh, no, sorry,
Alex
oh my
Moore.
God.
Give her a break, guys. How about Amy gets a round of applause?
Alex Moore Group, Tony Driscoll, Eck Group, Real Estate Writers, Show Me More Properties, Good Morning Ozarks, and Red Door Associates.
And as you can see, the closed volume groups.
Yeah.
Awesome job, guys. Whew. We're gonna get with Mike and get that cleaned up.
That's a lot.
Next week at JLC, thank you, everybody.
Wait. Dusty Capone and Sonia out in Seymour are having a baby this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
So we get a chance, now that would be something to text, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
I hear you're having a baby. And then Rachel McDonald is in West Plains. Now, if you haven't driven to West Plains, it's an hour and 35 minutes, so you don't want to do that probably to show a property. Rachel McDonald. And then Catherine Stanislawski is in Rolla. That's almost 2 hours, so you don't want to drive to Rolla. You should refer up there. That's what you should do. And Rolla's got the university, so you're going to have some
Rachel
contacts.
Stanislawski.
Stanislawski. Good Polish girl.
Good.
She just had a grandbaby. too.
Catherine Stanislawski and Rachel McDonald.
Know those names.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good week.